nearly as much and struggled early on in this season. I think back to that trip to California where they just weren't gelling. And now here's Hood, back of the net. Isaac Hood walked in, picked. Hood has it at the top of the zone, fires a shot and finds the back of the period. Big news coming out of that second period for Holden Masterson. And now here comes Isaac Hood with an absolute. That's going to get dumped down into the corner. Best able to keep it in. Jake over to the far side. Hood takes a shot back of the net. It's the highlights. Eastern Washington and Wyoming hockey fans, welcome to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for Game 7, I believe, of this Eagles Nest Showcase. Kicking you off there with the Texas hat trick, the Eagle hat trick from Isaac Hood last night when the Eagles took on the Utah Valley University Wolverines. These two teams coming together looking for a big win here at this showcase. Wyoming's final game of the weekend. They played 2 on Thursday, 1 yesterday, 1 today. Eastern Washington going to wrap up tomorrow against Idaho, but right now we've got some action in front of us between the Eagles and the Cowboys. I'm Tyler Pisani, joined by Gary Allen. And Gary, I'm just so wrapped up in this game already. You've watched both of these teams this weekend. What can we expect here?
It should be an even contest, even though I was extremely impressed with the Eagles last night game. If they play like that, they're going to give Wyoming everything they want. But Wyoming's a stout club. They got a great netminder with Bradley Mazzarelli, I think, in net tonight. So they'll give Eastern a handful.
The Eagles trying to jump right back out to it right away here. As a couple of quick shots on Mazzarelli, and he's going to cover that one up. An exciting game here earlier to kick off the day today, Gary, as Washington State and Utah Valley going an extra period and then to a shootout, and then to the third skater of the shootout.
Yeah.
They took it all the way down to the wire.
Yeah, that was an outstanding hockey game. I tip my caps to both those clubs. They played extremely hard.
And then the last game with Western and Idaho, that one really did kind of come down to the last few minutes. Western had a chance to come back late in that one and just not able to topple what has become a pretty formative Idaho club here this weekend.
Idaho's playing extremely well, but that was an interesting game. And for a while, it's like, okay, Western was out of it, and all of a sudden they took charge in the last 3 minutes. It became a heck of a hockey game at the end. But what I'm hoping to see out of Eastern is pick up where they left off last night. That was a complete hockey game by them, and they looked extremely stellar, and that's what I expected out of the Eagles. So hopefully there's a pick up where they left off. Like I said, they played well last night.
Here comes Tierney down the right side. Cole Best out there in the center as he got kind of knocked out of the slot there. Nowhere for the pass to go, so the Eagles just going to dump it in and reset themselves. As Wyoming now going to come out from behind their own net as Evan Heck. He's going to bring it into the neutral zone, and then Darnall along the low wall. Brash out of his net, slows that one down. Able to get back in there. The freshman netminder from Spokane for Eastern Washington. Now on the far side is Darnall. He's going to send it in, and Brash going to hold on to that one for his first save of the night.
There's a couple players Eastern has got to know where they are at all times on the ice. They're an outstanding player. That's Leaf Darnell, who you just mentioned, but Quillen Reed's a force out there for Wyoming, as is Colton Morris. He's an outstanding player, and you got Madden Hart. Eastern has got to know where they're at all time because that's where their offense comes from.
And Hart right here taking a couple of steps towards the front of the goal, and he kind of winged that towards the top of the crease, and Brash came out and held on to that one.
What makes Reed and Morris so solid is not only got high IQs, but their motors are constantly running. They don't take a shift off, and they're on the ice quite a bit. Same with Hart, though, also outstanding players.
Shot taken by Mears from the top of the circle. Can't get through the traffic, but he corrals it again back at the top of the zone. And now Berg going to chase down into the corner for Wyoming, trying to kick it back. And he ends up on the stick of Sam Thompson, who had 2 goals last night. In Eastern's 8-2 victory over the Utah Valley Wolverines.
One thing I see right now, Eastern's got to spread out a little bit more. They got to pace themselves and spread out, try to go Wyoming and chase them.
Wyoming going to rub the Eagle off of the puck there, and now back out into the neutral zone as Casey Young tries to chip it down into the corner, ends up at the feet of Mears, and he finds it at just the right moment, and that'll be offside as it was cleared into Sam Thompson as he tried to get out of the zone. So we'll have the action back out into the neutral zone, but this is a good time to take a break and talk about one Mr. Holden Masterson, who last night is going to go to the far side. Stevenson, first player there, sends it back behind the net. Lusk has a man out front. That's where he goes. Holden Masterson. Holden's first ever point in an Eastern Washington uniform. He's one of my players to watch in this game tonight, Gary, along with Sam Thompson and Casey Young.
Yeah, they played well last night, but the guy I'm interested in, if Hood picks up where he left off last night, popped 4 goals. The guy was incredible.
Well, and on top of that, we saw not just his ability on the ice to score goals, but also we watched him try and, make some space for Waylon Belair and make some space for some other players. He wasn't just looking to score. I mean, if he was last night, he might have had 5 or 6.
Yeah, no, he was a definite playmaker last night, and I liked how you touched on that. His first instinct was set up his teammates. They weren't there. He put it in the puck, but that kid played unbelievable, and Wyoming better watch out for him.
Looks like coaches have changed up their lines a little bit, and Hood going to take a minor penalty here for a cross check behind the net. And now he's knocked down a couple of times. Wyoming going to send themselves to the box here. Had a chance at a power play, and hot heads going to lead to a 4-on-4 situation here, I would assume.
Well, I give credit to Hood on that one because previously, earlier this season, he would have just went for it right then. And I've talked to him about that. He said he's trying to tone down his game a little bit. And that demonstrated right there. But I think he's going to remember who did that. And it'll be interesting in about the third period toward the end because that kid likes to throw the body. He's physical, and he's not afraid to drop the gloves either. So that could be something to store in the back of your mind. But I see Wyoming's going to pick up the extra penalty on that. They're going to get a 4-minute on Darnell on that one, and then Hood picks up 2.
So going from a power play for Wyoming to a power play for the Eagles. And it looks like Hood going to get 2 minutes for a cross check and then a double minor for a rough on Darnall.
But I'm glad to see Hood kept his composure on that one because I know he had some difficulties at the start of the season with doing that. So he did a nice job, but he will definitely remember what happened out there. There's no question.
So currently 4-on-4 on the ice. And now coming in late is Thompson. So a little miscommunication for Eastern Washington. They're not sure if they actually were on the power play because 2 of those penalties, Hoods and the initial rough for Darnall, are off the board. Players falling all over each other in front of Sam Brash. He's just going to wisely cover that up, give everybody a chance to restart with 1:29 left on the power play for the Eagles.
And that was a good play by Brash because if you notice, one of the Eagles, they were skating hard back. They're going to miss the play, and it would have been a 1-on-1. Nice job of Sam just to cover it up and say, okay, let's regroup here. So heads up hockey by him. But he's going to be an outstanding goalie for the Eagles now and in the future. So it looked like they put Bila in to serve that extra time, Wyoming.
Now the Eagles gain the zone. Thompson on the far side. Tries to put it on net, but hits the glass behind it. Casey Young on the right side for Eastern Washington. Back up top to Lusk. Now down low to Casey Young. Tries to send it across. It's going to go all the way back up to Wells. Now near side to Lusk. Takes a couple of steps and fires it off of the leg pad of the Wyoming Cowboy in front of him. Lusk able to keep that in just barely. Now Thompson having to give chase on the far side. Thompson a couple of quick steps, trying to turn that corner, able to do so. Fires a shot from the near side, sticked away by Muzzarelli. And the Cowboys trying to clear it, couldn't get it any further than the upper body of Frank Flood at first, but then finally sent the length of the ice by Reed. Reed looking to throw a hit there behind the end line. Had one miss and took it out on Cole Best on the near side. Now Young can't feed it over to Wells, waiting behind his own net. 10 seconds left on the power play. Looks like that's Karfs on the far side who was able to pin that up against the wall. Actually, it's Berg, rather.
Berg did an outstanding job. He must have ate 10 seconds up just holding that puck and making the Eagles fight him.
And now Wyoming back to 5 skaters as Brash going to leave that off for his own man. Eagles looking to build out of their own zone. Neutral zone dump taken away by the Cowboys. Now Berg with it on the far side. Right out front. Kind of an awkward shot taken by Boma. Looked like he was trying to get some extra oomph on it. And ended up right into the leg pads of Brash. Doesn't matter how much power you put on it. You're not getting through that leather.
No, plus Berg did a nice job. He waited. He delayed it for his player to get in the open. He did a nice little shovel pass over to him. So it was a heads-up play by him.
Out of the box comes Cole Best as his 2-minute coincidental minor expired. Darnall's still in the box, though, so he may have gotten a 4 and a 10.
Yeah, possibly.
Wyoming giving chase back behind their own net as Eastern Washington getting some fresh skates out on the ice. Lusk now a takeaway right at the blue line. He's got a man waiting right out front in Thompson. Instead, Flood has his pocket picked from behind as he tried to fire that one. Good stick work by the Cowboys on defense. Looking for that wraparound, not there, and now Lusk tries to put it in. And some extracurriculars here early, Gary. Less than 8 minutes into this, we've already seen a couple of dinner plans happening after the whistle.
Well, one player for Wyoming who's real physical is Quillen Reed. But I'm surprised. It looks like Wyoming's decided to use more of a heavy checking style against and increase their physicality because they didn't hit as much as they are right now in the first period when I watched them last 2 times.
Now Thompson has it back behind the net, trying to backhand feed it out front to Lusk. He's got to circle back over to the far wall. Lusk now going to feed it near side to Carew. Carew back to Lusk at the top of the zone, fires it on net, and Muzzarelli turns away that shot from the Eagles. Puck still in the attacking end. Now going back behind the net is Morris. But Morris and Thompson come together. Shot taken from the slot right into the leg pads of a Cowboy again. Eastern giving the protective gear of the Cowboys a bit of a workout here early in this one. Fighting for the puck back underneath the scoreboard. Boma has it. He's going to try and turn and feed it out front, and a good pass. But just off the mark was Hart.
But Hart is a force in there. If you notice what he likes to do, he'll go in front of the netminder, and the defenseman, and it doesn't matter who it is, you better be strong to try to move him out because that guy can plant himself, and he's not easy to deal with it. Plus, he's a good heads-up hockey player. I really do like the way he plays. He's just smart, strong hockey player. One thing the Eagles are going to have to continue to do once those face-offs, they won the battle yesterday, and that really helped them get their offense going. So we'll see if Wyoming can slow that down.
And Darnall officially charged with 2 roughing minors. So not sure why he hung out in the box for a little bit of extra time there. but he is now back on the bench. Actually, he's out on the ice currently. So he's giving chase behind the net. Puck's going to go to the far side as Holden Masterson throws his body around. Young tried to take that and turn around and fire it down the ice. And a second attempt there right into the waiting glove of Mears, who drops it, puts it on his stick, and puts it into the glove of Sam Brash.
Nice job by Brash, too. It looked like Eastern was having the darndest time to get out of their zone, and they weren't spreading it out. And the Cowboy just cut in front of it. It had a nice open shot. Brash is all over there. So good heads-up play by him.
Face-off coming stick side of Brash. Hood pushes it to the center to Best. Cole now on the far side. He's got Hood crashing the net, looking for that rebound.
But you mentioned earlier, Tyler, right there, Hood set that up. He definitely went and looked to make a play on it. Wasn't even thinking about shooting. Nice play by him. And then somebody from the Eagles blew up a Cowboy right there.
Yeah, that looked like it was Mr. Trent Wells.
Yeah, that's his game. He likes to throw his body around quite a bit.
Well, and you've watched Wyoming this whole weekend. I remember them from last year. They were a pretty physical team.
Yeah.
It's the same team this year for the most part.
I recognize some of the names. To be frank with you, I don't know how many new players they got. I know Quill and Reed stood out for me, and Hart throwing their body around. Reed really likes the physical aspect of the game, and so does Hart. And so it'll be interesting to see if the others are picking it up. Those are the two that stood out to me that were bangers for Wyoming, plus their outstanding hockey players.
And a couple of players coming into each other behind the play at the blue line. As looked like it was Hood and Luby. Now Hood on the right side. Makes one man miss. Makes a second miss. Gets that shot off. And Hood is not making any friends.
Not at
in
all.
The Wyoming Cowboys uniform.
Not one bit. I mean, that's like 3 Cowboys now so far in this game that charged at him. And I don't know if he's chirping at him, but right there on that one, he just deked the Cowboy out. I don't know if he was embarrassed, and that's why he retaliated. I'm really not sure why they got a beeline on Isaac Hood right now.
Well, and I was looking at the play in the Eastern defensive zone, and all of a sudden we looked down at the Cowboys blue line, and there was a couple of players on the ice. But the official was standing right behind them, so anything nefarious would have been called, especially by this crew today. They've been pretty spot on with those types of penalties.
The feistiness is picking up, as I would like to word it right now.
When we talk about the feistiness a little bit, you go back to that the Western game earlier. There was 4 major penalties called at separate times. .9:20 left in this opening period. Eastern leading in the shots category 11-3, but unable to solve the puzzle that is Bradley Muzzarelli.
They got good goaltenders.
And now
on
here
Wyoming.
Comes Wyoming the other way. Casey Young with some speed, some good defense there. As a couple of players down in the crease and nobody able to get a shot on net for Wyoming, and that sets this building on fire. A massive defensive stand by Casey Young and Sam Brash.
That was a tremendous play by Young because Reed had the angle on him, and he did a nice job of recovery on that. Outstanding play by Casey.
That one off the window and into the netting. So another stoppage coming.
Well, you can tell the crowd, they're into the physical aspect of it, which is actually the crowd is impressive right now. But anything that Eastern hits, they go ballistic.
And Brash going to get himself reset, adjusting his equipment, making sure that he's situated. And we'll have a face-off directly in front of us. It's Hofacker against Bila. And Hofacker going to come away with that win. But the Cowboys back with the puck in their possession. Wells ahead to Belair. He gets it across the blue line, but not with enough oomph to get it anywhere. And then it's dumped all the way back down the ice. First player there is Wells for an icing. So we'll bring the action down to the other side of the ice. But you can see there, Hofacker and Bila having some words. High-fiving with their sticks.
They're still having some words on it.
Well, and they're about to square off about 6 inches from each other.
It'll be interesting to see if Bel Air can do what he does extremely well, draws penalties for Eastern, because he's out there on the ice, and he seems to get one a game.
And Hofacker puts that back towards the blue paint. Muzzarelli wisely covers that one up.
That's one kid that's really grown this year is Waylon Belair. He is night and day from when we were down in the California swing till now. He's playing really well for Eastern.
Well, we talk about this a lot. Sometimes there's a bit of a leg when you bring a house player like Bel Air into this level. Not that they can't play there, but it takes a few games to get used to the speed because this hockey is much faster than anything you're going to see. And was this Bel Air drawing a penalty here?
I
believe it was.
I honestly think so. I don't know if we see a replay, but he was down there, and that was the call on interference. And I'm telling you, that's golden. I'm not kidding you. If you could incorporate that, and you know the coaching staff has already picked this up, it's like that's why I was saying Bel Air's the kid is just outstanding at that. And that's why I hope he continues that because he's using his size to his advantage.
So it'll be Berg taking a 2-minute timeout for interference. 11:50 into the opening period. Eastern Washington has an opportunity here in their second power play of the game to put themselves on top. And there's Hood almost creating a chance again as he got that one onto the leg pads. It bounced back out, and Flood almost there to clean it up. And now Hood breaking his stick on the one-timer opportunity. But Muzzarelli, being the kind guy that he is, covered that up so that Isaac could go back to the bench and get a new stick.
You know, we were talking about how Belair has been doing this, but I think he's gaining confidence out of that because you notice now he's starting to throw his body around. He's getting more involved with the offense, and he's just growing in his confidence and strength on the ice. So I think the adjustment period's over for him now.
And Eagles fans, if you're looking for Eastern Washington University apparel, scan that QR code on your screen right now or visit EWEaglesHockey.com to take part in the fall fundraiser. Soft t-shirts, hoodies, 100% polyester workout shirts, all available starting at $20. EWEaglesHockey.com, or just scan that QR code right there on your screen. Another broken stick, it looks like, down in the corner. That must have been something the official picked up. Lusk now heading the other way on the outside as Thompson comes through the middle and is pulled down from behind, taking out a Cowboy on the way. Now up to Wells. Wells feeds it down low to the back door to Flood and just couldn't make contact with it. Now Lusk on the far side. He's knocked down, but the puck's still with the Eagles halfway through the penalty. Another broken stick. This one again from Isaac Hood. 2 shifts, 2 broken sticks. Now he's got to go back to the locker room to go get himself a stick. So we'll have a stoppage.
Well, Eastern's going to get a penalty on it, and it looked like high sticking on Sam Thompson.
So that'll be the end of their power play. As Thompson with a high stick is going to go take a 2-minute seat. So after the 50 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey, we'll have a 1:10 of Wyoming Cowboy power play, their first of the contest.
I would sure like to see Wells open up on his shot. I mean, I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to do a touch pass in front, but he's got such a wicked slap shot. I like to see him unleash that because it is a rocket when he lets it go.
Now Tierney with it on the right side. He's going to dump it in, and it's going to bounce awkwardly off the wall back towards Muzzarelli. Tierney has it through the skates of Berg. Over to the near side to Young. Now back to Tierney. Tierney's got Jake Best in front of him, just a bit too far out in front, and Luby going to send it into the corner. Best and Luby come together. Puck still on the far side, right in front of the VIP corner. Good pass out front, but nobody in a white jersey there. And Eastern going to take a second penalty as Tierney came together with Luke Moore behind the play. Likely an interference call. But right now, the Cowboys still looking to take advantage of the extra attacker, and instead it's going to go up into the netting. And they'll say that's a trip. So Eastern going to have a 1:03 of 5-on-3 penalty killing to do. 13:58 of this first period, the best chance of the night for the Cowboys.
Eastern doesn't want to play around with this being shorthand with Wyoming because, again, you're going to see Reed out there. You're going to see Morris out there. My hunch is Hart's going to be out there. That's a powerful offensive attack that they put out on the ice, and Eastern can't afford these penalties.
And Eastern able to score twice last night shorthanded, but I don't see that happening against this Utah squad.
I don't either. Because Muzzarelli, the way he's playing, he's rock solid. But I'm impressed with Brash right now. He is definitely helping the Eags out. He's just been a stone wall for them, which is good being down 2 men. But I tell you, if I was Eastern, I'd get nervous because Wyoming has a potent power play.
And as we say it, here comes Lusk on the right side. He's got one more man to beat. He can't get it past the stick of Colton Morris, who's just been a steady defenseman for the Cowboys this entire weekend.
You're going to hear his name a lot tonight because that guy is outstanding.
Puck to the captain, back behind the net. Now back up top to Morris. Down low to Hart. He takes a shot right out front, deflected away to the feet of Lusk. He didn't see it. Now over to the far side to Berg. Berg goes near side to Morris, a swing and a miss, but now to Hart off of the side of the cage. 8 seconds left on the penalty kill.
That was a great stop by Brash because you could see that Hart was trying to go up top on him, and he didn't budge on it. He didn't go down on the butterfly, but you could see that's exactly where Hart was trying to go with the puck.
Out of the box comes Thompson, so now just a 5-on-4 advantage for the Cowboys for the next 45 seconds. Knocked into the wall was Morris, and the puck's going to head all the way to the other end of the ice. Giving chase is Flood. The first player there in a brown uniform is Luby. He's going to lay it off near side. Now Flood gets it just out of the zone as it spins across the blue line. Reed circles back towards his bench. Backhand near side to Moore. And Thompson ends up on his back at the Eastern Washington blue line. No penalty coming there. Wyoming still with the puck on the far side. Moore, easy pass to Reed. He's going to go across the blue line out to Heck after it's poked across into neutral ice by Flood. Hofacker now looking to line up that puck. Heads out the other way. Now back into the Eastern Washington end. Heck kicks it across the blue line. Back to full strength. This one pushed ahead. And Hofacker giving chase into the corner. He's got Stevenson out front. He's going to backhand that along the wall. Stevenson hits the ice. And Wyoming now heading the other direction. First player to cross into the zone is Boma. And another save by Sam Brash with 3:27 left in this first period.
I think that was great. The section in front of us, they're boosting Sam Brash up. They're actually chanting on him every time he makes a glove hand, and there's cheers. That's what it is. It's kind of snapping like his glove hand. So that's nice to see out of the fans from Eastern.
Face-off won by the Cowboys. It squirts its way over to Brash, and he's going to do what he does best and covers that one up.
I'm going to draw on your memory from last year, but if you remember Shippy from UW, that's exactly who Colton Morris reminds me of. He plays the same way, extremely talented.
Now here comes Hood, fresh stick, takes it right towards the goal mouth and can't get that backhand off to Best, but he's going to draw a penalty. And that'll be a slash, so Eastern going to go back on the power play, 16:49 of this period.
I see Mr. Hood's having a good time. He's dancing down there on the ice to the music, so he's enjoying this game right now. He's having fun.
And it looks like it's going to be Colton Morris who's going to take a 2-minute seat for that slash. Might have saved a goal, though, as Isaac Hood crashing in on his netminder. Hood has it. He's going to send it around the boards. It's going to go all the way to the far side to Joel Lusk. Lusk lays it off. Now near side to Hood. One-timer opportunity. Sounded like it was off of the mask of Muzzarelli as he raises his hands in triumph.
but you could see Hood wanted one back. He was going top shelf with it, just got a little bit too high on that one.
Muzzarelli got to shake that one off. And face-off coming again to his glove side. Battle for the puck along the low wall right in front of the Wyoming shoot door. The Eagles come away with it. Now Thompson back behind the net. He's got Wells at the top of the zone. That's where he goes. Hood on the near side. Now to Hood at the top of the right face-off circle. Up top to Wells. Wells thinks about it. Goes to the far side. And Lusk takes a couple too many touches there and has to reset back behind the net to Thompson. Thompson to Hood. Hood thinks about it. Winds up. Fires a shot again. Shouldered out into the corner by Muzzarelli. Hood's going to think about it again. Instead, he's going to go to the far side. Shot taken by Lusk. And that's going to roll all the way back down to Brash halfway through this penalty kill. Tierney up the right side. Has it taken away by Reed as he came across the blue line. Now Brash leaves it there. Didn't see the Wyoming player coming. The official thinks about that for quite a minute. They are going to give it to him, which I understand, but felt like there was a bit of a pause there.
Yeah, Brash would have got away with the first one, but he went and decided he was going to give him a second shot, and the referee, he waited, and then he decided, he's going to have to go with it. But I like that spunk out of Brash, so that's good. He's letting people know, don't come by me, so you can't fault that. But Stevenson's going to serve the 2 minute for him.
Back-to-back nights, Eastern Washington goalies sending a player to the penalty box. Not sure that's where they want to be.
Well, I'm not sure that's in the game plan. But
granted, coming into the game, Eastern Washington just 6 penalty minutes out of being the number 1 penalty minute team in the country.
Well, you knew they were going to eclipse that after this game. There's no question in my mind on that one. But they play well shorthanded. They do. So Wyoming better be alert.
And part of that is due to the fact that this is Eastern's 16th game of the season. So that does pad the stats a little bit.
Yeah, but they have a lot of experience being shorthanded, so they're pretty comfortable being shorthanded going on the offensive attack.
So Best's going to send it down into the corner. Nobody there. He took a beeline right towards the goal, but nobody to send it over to him. Now on the far side, carrying it across is Luby. Luby, a touch pass. Top of the circle. Knocked straight down by Brash as Wyoming now on the power play.
See, again, the crowd's just rooting like heck for Brash right now. That's good to see because that's got to give him a lot of confidence.
Now circling in the neutral zone is Moore. Taking it away is Best. Cole Best over to his brother Jake. Jake, top shelf, goal! Best to Best. To the net.
You got to love watching those two play together, but there's a classic example. Cole Best gets a puck. The Cowboy defenseman was in good position, and he toe dragged it, made the D-man make a commitment, and his brother Jake just trailed it. Easy one-timer in there, but the Best brothers, I'm telling you, they are great playing together. It's just a pleasure watching them.
And just like that, Eastern Washington, another shorthanded goal this weekend.
See, I told you they play well shorthanded. I don't think it's a strategy. Let's always be shorthanded, but they're not worried about them when they're a man down.
I mean, this seems like the type of team that instead of pulling their goalie would add a second one and get rid of a skater.
That would be an interesting strategy on that one. I'd like to see how that would go over.
Easy touch pass by Carew out into the neutral zone. Over to Flood. Flood takes one in the back as he's trying to get rid of it. And the Cowboys come away with the puck.
That was a good goal for Eastern. You could tell the crowd was ready to explode. And it was good to see they got it on board early.
It's through the neutral zone. Thompson going to throw his body everywhere. Touches a couple of sticks. And then somehow Sam Thompson gets the puck. Sends it back down the ice. 18 seconds left on the power play for the Cowboys. Thompson and Hart come together in neutral ice. And that'll be it for the period.
That was a quick period. I'm not kidding you. Last time I looked up, there was 2 minutes left, and then all of a sudden the buzzer went off. It's been an entertaining game, Tyler, plain and simple.
It has been. Eastern Washington taking the 1-goal lead with a late goal from the Best brothers. Cole to Jake, short-handed. The Eagles will start down a man for the first 10 seconds of that long change second period. You're watching the Eagles Nest Showcase on Eastern Washington University Men's Hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center for what I expect to be a firework-filled second period between the Eagles and the Cowboys. I'm Kyler Pisani, joined by Gary Allen. And Gary, we were talking about this in the break. Eastern going to start the period down a man for 10 seconds. But these two teams a little more chippy than we've seen them this weekend and against each other in the past.
It reminds me of that they're bitter rivals, and I'm not really sure how that started because really they've only played them, as far as I know, once. Mm-hmm. But that's the feel of this game right now. They're just hitting everybody, and it's a very entertaining hockey game.
Wyoming going to control it here for the first few seconds as Eastern going to regroup. And here comes Lusk on the left side. He's going to make one man miss, fire that shot over the top of the net. And now here comes Boma the other direction. Toe drag, tries to get it to the center. Another Eagle waiting for him. He's going to take it to the corner. Now backhands it towards the front of the net. Back to Boma on the far side. He's going to push it down low, this time to Berg. Now back to Boma. He's going to take a couple of steps towards the center, and actually that's Berg. And looking to take it through the center of the zone was Lusk, but he's bodied off of the puck. And the linesman almost ends up on the Eastern Washington bench during that change.
I don't know if you've noticed this also, but it looks like EW, they're going to be a penalty interference, huh?
This is going to go against Hood as he kind of cut across the front of the net, but the official didn't raise his hand for a good 10 seconds there. Yeah. So I'm not sure that Hood knew that it was coming. And actually, that's not who they went against. Okay. So it was, looks like it's going to be Berg. I thought he had pointed at Hood. And that makes sense why the call was so delayed.
Because that was a long delay on deciding if you're going to make that call. But what's interesting, I've noticed Eastern, I don't know if they picked this up off film or something, but they're shooting high on moves really, and I'm not sure if that's the game plan or if the players are deciding to do that. But so far, most of the shots from Eastern are up high, up, trying to get it right under the crossbar.
And officially that penalty coming 1 minute, 11 seconds of the second period. Berg for interference, 2 minutes. So the Eagles back on the power play. Through the neutral zone as Moore picks the pocket of the Eagles. Brash going to leave that off for Hood. Hood spun around behind the net, still has the puck on his stick. Reed going to give chase. Reed with the stick up under Hood's armpit. And now Hood going to try and feed it out front. He's going to go to the top of the zone to Casey Hood. And Casey takes the shot as it was headed towards the goal mouth. It was deflected up into the netting. And now a little shove from Moore on Young as he heads back to the bench.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of tripping going on between both squads. They're picking it up and watching after the Wilson goal. So there's a lot of chatter between the two squads, which I find just fascinating. Because like I said, they don't play each other that often.
Hood able to keep it in. He's going to feed it down low. Back to Hood. He's got Wells waiting at the top of the zone. That's where he goes. Near side. Wells atop the blue line. Over to Hood on the far side. Bouncing puck out front. Cleaned up, but just wide of the net by Eastern Washington. That was Flood with the last shot. Now Lusk over to Hood. Back up top to Lusk. He's going to go to Hood on the far side. Now back to the near side. Trailing Wells a little bit, so Trenton going to have to reset himself. Flood over to the far side to Hood. 42 seconds left on the power play. Lusk sneaking in towards that back door. Hood going to try and find his spot, and he's taken down as he takes that shot.
There's a penalty coming up against Hart, it looks like. Now there's a little extra elbow going on.
Wyoming not able to stay out of their own way here.
No, not at all. Obviously, the Cowboys not happy about it. They're tripping at the referee right now also, but it's interesting how this second period started. It's kind of where it left off in the first. But I mentioned in the first period, I really hope Wells decides to start unleashing his slap shot, especially when he gets it, pinches in, because his shot's just a rocket. I know what he's trying to do. He's trying to set up his teammates, and he's doing some nice passes. But every once in a while, I like to see him unleash it, because he's just got a hard, fast shot. Reed's in there discussing with the referee what's going on, along with Flood, too. So I'm not sure what the explanation was or what they were looking for.
That one seemed like a pretty cut and dry penalty to me.
But Hart got a 5 minutes.
Oh, yes, he did.
So maybe
we'll
that's what they were talking about.
We'll see if we can get the update on what he did to get that major. We talked about it earlier. There was 4 major penalties in the Western game earlier. Bouncing puck out front. And Eastern Washington able to capitalize quickly thanks to their captain, Trenton Wells, almost using a soccer-style chest move to get that in there.
However you get it in, it doesn't matter, does it? But nice play by Wells on it. He just snuck in. The referees are talking right now. I'm not sure what they're discussing, if they think he purposely either somehow with a skate or something get it in. But nope, they're waving it off.
Wave it off. It sure looked like that came off of his chest, and he was in the crease. So I can see why they would. But
if I was the Eastern coaching staff, I'd have the referee over there explaining to me what they saw off of that one. And if you can take a look, Tyler's going back and look at the replay. I mean, but you got to give kudos to the referees. They got together and discussed it. And from my viewpoint, I didn't see him do anything wrong that he would purposely besides. I don't know.
I'm not sure what Wells did. There was another goal called off in the WSU game that I think had a lot of people scratching their heads. So maybe there's something the officials are seeing there that the rest of us aren't.
Well, now that we looked at the replay on that, we're both scratching our head on that one. It's like, well, I don't know. That looked like a clean goal.
So back to 5-on-3 hockey for the next 5 seconds as Eastern trying to poke this one home.
But for the people that are new to hockey, with a 5-minute penalty, you score as often as you want.
And that was an incredible defensive play by Lusk. He's going to try and take it the length of the ice. Gets it out front to Flood. Lusk spinning into the corner after a hard hit in the near faceoff dot.
That's a classy move by the Wyoming Cowboy player right there, who he collided with. He instantly went over to Lusk to check on how he was doing. I tip my cap to 21 Luby. That was a nice move by him. There was no ill intent on his part. It was just a hit. And as crazy as this game's starting to get, it was good to see that somebody was looking at it.
Yeah, it looks like looking back at our way back machine here, looks like Lusk just lost his skates, and as he was falling, fell into the knee, head first, kind of Luby. Yeah, good to see him back up
again. You know, Luby didn't do anything purposely on that. Again, Luke Moore just went over and tapped him on the shin guard too. So I mean, it was a play that wasn't ill intent. It just happened, which does in hockey sometimes. You fall down, you get hit weirdly, but.
So going back to that major penalty, it was a 5-minute major for cross-checking to Hart, which typically means somewhere in the upper part of your body, somewhere above the shoulders typically.
What?
So still 4 minutes left on that penalty, and as you said, no matter how many goals the Eagles score, Hart's stuck there for the next 3 minutes and 53 seconds. Muzzarelli being quick to get this puck back out instead of freezing that. Tried to get it back to his own players, and now Young going to carry it down behind the cage. He's going to feed it over to the far side. Gives it to Cole Best at the top of the zone. He takes a shot through traffic, and Muzzarelli finds it, falls on it, and another stoppage with 3:35 left to play in this second period.
That was a nice play by Muzzarelli, because if there was a rebound out there, the whole factor was going in, he would have had a point-blank empty net shot. Great play by Bradley Muzzarelli on that one.
So face-off coming left side of the Wyoming netminder. Puck sent into the neutral zone, and Young going to circle it back. They're going to call that a hand pass as it bounced off of the hand of Cole Best, just kind of banged off of his glove. So stoppage coming, face off in the neutral zone, right in front of the Wyoming bench. Puck down, face-off won by the Eagles. Jake Best circling back into his own zone. He's going to leave it off for Young at the Eagles slot. Now heading back down the opposite side of the ice. Cole Best swatted at and then taken down. The Eagles still in possession. Jake Best on the near side, holding it in is Young. Now Hofacker trying to feed it to the center of the zone and can't. It's going to get her all the way back to Sam Brash. Laid off for Hofacker.
A little dipsy doodle by Hofacker. That was a nice move by him.
He's going to give chase to that, back behind the net. And now Hood circles into his own zone with some speed. Going to come across the blue line. Chases it down into the corner. Now back to the top of the zone. Wells has it. Thinks about the shot. Goes near side now to Thompson, who fires a shot from just outside of the face-off circle. A couple of players fall down behind the net. The Cowboys able to clear it the length of the ice. 2:15 left on this power play. A couple of big momentum swings that are pretty typical in hockey. One is a waved off goal, and the other is killing off a 5-minute major penalty without giving off any goals. And right now, Wyoming's able to do both of those more than halfway through this 5-minute major penalty. Now looking to break down the ice is Berg.
Eastern's just having a tough time setting up and formulating any kind of attack.
Now Lusk with it. He's going to push it over to the far side to Thompson. Thompson looking for Flood out front. Flood pushed into the Wyoming netminder. And that's going to knock the net off of the red line. So they'll reset that with 1:36 left on the major cross-checking penalty to Hart, the captain of these Cowboys.
You got to tip your cap, though, to Wyoming. They're doing a nice job of making sure Eastern can't set up their power play, and they're making Eastern run around. So the Cowboys are doing an excellent job killing off this 5-minute.
Cowboys send that one in. Young has it now at the top of the zone. Thinks about it, fires it, bounces right back out front. Dangerous puck. And tripping up over the netminder's legs was Stevenson. This one's going to go all the way back to Brash. He's going to leave it off for Young. 1:18 left on the power play. Tierney up the far side, gains the blue line. He's got Cole Best and Jake Best in the center. And the puck ends up on the stick of Campbell, who's going to dump it back down the ice. This one back behind the Eastern Washington net, under 1 minute remaining on the cross-checking major. The Eagles gain the blue line, gain the center stripe, and then Cole Best trying to bring it across the blue line into the Wyoming zone, and it ends up on the Eastern Washington bench. Eagles fans, if you're looking to represent the Eagles everywhere you go, head to eweagleshockey.com and take part in the fall fundraiser. Or you can just scan that QR code on your screen right now. T-shirts starting at $20, hoodies at $35. Represent the team everywhere you go and support the boys out here on the ice. Again, eweagleshockey.com. Click on the store or just scan that QR code on your screen. Bouncing puck into the glove of Muzzarelli for another stoppage with 13 minutes exactly on the clock, 39 seconds left on the penalty clock.
It's been a very, very entertaining hockey games. Both teams have just decided to throw everything at each other, see who gets the next break, and very good play by both squads. Really, they're both looks like they're implementing their offensive plan. The only thing that hurt Eastern on that power play, but they're playing well. There's another high shot,
and again off of the mask of Muzzarelli.
And I don't know if Eastern has decided they saw something previously on that, but so far all their shots are high, and
the Muzzarelli gonna fix his equipment here, but while he's doing that, let's take a look back at what Isaac Hood was able to do last night with a Texas hat trick here in Cheney. Nearly as much. And struggled early on in this season. I think back to that trip to California where they just weren't gelling. And now here's Hood, back of the net. Isaac. Goal number 1 as Lusk winning the faceoff here. 22 seconds left on the power play. Wells going to send it down the wall. Now back to Wells. Backhand pass to Lusk on the left side. Thinks about the pass. Goes through the zone over to the far faceoff circle. Looking to send it into the center of the traffic was Carew. Flood falling down. The puck pinned up against the wall, down in the corner, out to Lusk. Out of the box comes Hart. And he's going to head straight to the bench. But the Cowboys able to kill off a 5-on-3, a 5-minute major, and have a goal called off for the Eagles. So everything moving in the direction of the Wyoming Cowboys right now.
Well, right now this is cruise for Eastern for about the next minute because Wyoming's going to pick up some motivation on what they just did. If Eastern can ride that out a little bit, that'll help them.
Wells now deep in his own zone, sends it all the way down the ice. That's going to bang off the glass and scoot past the Wyoming net. And let's go back and take a look at that Texas hat trick. And struggled early on in this season. I think back to that trip to California where they just weren't gelling. And now here's Hood, back of the net. Isaac Hood walked in, picked. Hood has it at the top of the zone, fires a shot and finds the back of the period. Big news coming out of that second period for Holden Masterson. And now here comes Isaac Hood with an absolute. That's going to get dumped down into the corner. Best able to keep it in. And the officials calling off this goal as it was a high stick goal. Yeah. I apologize for coming back from that replay late.
And Brash knew it right away.
He did.
As soon as that puck went in, he stood up and he was just chirping at the referees. He knew it was a high stick. And good job by the officials. Saw that, they called it instantly, so there was no debate on it. They knew it was a high stick also. So,
and the reason that we were going back to those Hood replays, as you mentioned it a little bit, Gary, the Eagles shooting up high, and we saw that from Isaac Hood a lot last night, and we've seen that a couple of times tonight. And Muzzarelli looks like he's watched the game tape from last night because he, every time Hood winds up, pops up out of his butterfly. So it definitely seems like he's seeing something that that maybe some of the other tenders aren't. Now here comes Best. He had Hood crashing through the center, and now coming the other way is Hart. Hart takes a shot, floats it just up over the top into the glass. Fed to the near side, chipped ahead as now Jake to Cole Best. Now Cole going to chase into the corner. He's got Hood on the far side. And dropping the puck down to his stick was Bila. And it's going to go to Hart, the captain, on the far side. He passes it directly to Hood. And as we were talking about Hood going up high, he puts that one right into the leg pads.
But I think Campbell got a little bit of that shot, and that's why it went down a little bit lower. But I think what would be interesting for Eastern to do is now do a couple shots low on Muzzarelli, see if they can get him off guard since he thinks they're going to go high all the time, change it up a little bit.
Now Hood going to chase it down into the corner. He's got Thompson on the back post. Instead, he tries to feed it to Young, who is crashing towards Thompson. And now Thompson back behind the net. He had 2 last night against Utah Valley.
That was a nice give and go. It just rolled off a Young stick a little bit. He didn't get all of it on it, but that was a nice play set up by Hood.
Played a little bit of leapfrog there along the back wall. Finally, Flood able to come away with that. He came together hard with Mears. It looked like Mears maybe ran into his maybe knee to knee there. But both players back up, and now Mears back down in the corner again. And Lusk able to keep that in, and they're going to say no, he wasn't. So that'll bring the puck out into the neutral zone with 9:34 left to play in this second period. Eastern far out shooting Wyoming 26-12. Both teams with a goal waved off in this period so far. Both making some good offensive opportunities.
Well, you see the Eagles, they're attack mode right now, and they've been that way since the start of the game. They just haven't quite figured out how to get by Muzzarelli, who's an outstanding netminder.
And the crowd getting into this one on a Saturday night here in Cheney at the URC. This one across the blue line. Luby takes it in, clangs it off the glass behind the cage. This one through the zone. McBride tried to snatch that out of the air. And Moore knocked out of the crease pretty handily there by the Eagles as he was poking at the glove of Sam Brash. Under 9 minutes to play here in the second period of game number 7 of the Eagles Nest Showcase. The final game tomorrow right here at noon. It's the Eagles against the Vandals. Those two teams splitting their series earlier this year. This one, the rubber match tomorrow at noon, a game you're not going to want to miss. Idaho has looked outstanding so far in this tournament, as have the Eagles. Dangerous puck out front, and Wyoming able to clear it. And Hood looking for that pass, takes it off of the wall, slows down the play, tries to go around one man. Wyoming wisely using the body against Hood instead of trying to poke that off of his stick. They're just playing the body every time he comes into the zone.
And that's a good adjustment by Wyoming because Hood's so shifty that if you don't put a body on him, he's going to make you look bad.
An Eastern player, that's Hood, knocked down at center ice by Hart, it looked like, as those two came together again. Fighting for the puck along the blue line. It squirts into the Eastern Washington zone. Now coming away with it is Boma. And that will be a delayed call against Eastern Washington now. A trip against Cole Best, it looks like. Or Jake Best, rather. It's coming 12:05 of the second period. It'll be Jake Best for a trip, putting Wyoming back on the power play.
Again, the Cowboys brought out some of their heavy hitters like Luke Moore's out there right now. Reed's out there. Luby's out there. They look like they're going to throw the kitchen sink on this one and try for it. The only person I don't see out there is Morris.
And Eastern wins the faceoff, but can't get any real control of the puck along that end wall. Now it's back out to Reed. Wyoming has it. Reed, clapper from on top of the faceoff circle on the right side, right into that Eagle logo in the chest of Sam Brash.
That was a harder save than what it looks like for Brash because what Reed did a nice job of, he used the D-man from Eastern as a screen, and he unleashed it. A nice job by Sam looking around the player and absorbing that shot. That was a difficult save.
Now Reed with it again. He's going to go over to Luby at the top of the zone. That one over the glove of Brash. Now Moore up top. He's got Luby crashing the top of the circle. That's where he goes. Couple more steps into Wells, and it's going to bounce out into the corner. Wells now trying to bang it off the glass and get it out of the zone. He's able to do so with the help of Frank Flood. Now Reed back skates towards his own goal. And bringing it across the blue line was Heck, but stumbling across before him was Luke Moore. Unable to slow down, so offside here with 1:07 left on the minor penalty to Jake Best. 7:01 left in the period.
It has been one very well-played hockey game by both squads. And why it's been looking like sometimes scattered is just the way they're playing defense against each other. They're doing a nice job of locking each other up.
Young grabs it on the far side. Heavy touch at the top of the zone by Morris, but he's going to carry it, take that shot. Really giving fits to the men out front as Boma. Doing a good job of screening the netminder. And here's a chance for Eastern Washington with numbers. A flip over to Stevenson. He's got Hofacker in the center. That's where he goes. And a good dive by Campbell to keep that off of the stick of Hofacker. Now coming the other direction is Boma. Easy pass over to his captain, Hart, taken away by the Eagles. 26 seconds left on the power play. And Wyoming going to slow it down a little bit. Campbell picks it up behind his own net. He's going to go to the far side. Hofacker running point on this. Eastern able to keep that one in as Cole Best jumping off the bench. A big hit behind the net by Hood. And this one's going to be kicked over across the ice. Jake Best out of the penalty box, back to five-a-side hockey. That one goes off into the corner from Moore. This one's going to die right on top of the blue line of Wyoming, so they're going to pick it up and head the other direction thanks to Colton Morris. The crowd asking for a penalty, and now they're going to get one, but I don't think from the call that they were looking for. Eastern sends their goalie to the bench, and jumping off of the bench, quick shot. And it looks like 2 penalties. We'll see if these are both on the same team, if they're both the same penalty, or what the officials saw here.
One's a cross check for somebody.
And it looks like that's going to be it. Both officials seeing the same thing.
So McBride goes in for the Wyoming Cowboys. Again, it's interesting, this game, the ebb and flow of the momentum right now, and the fans are really trying to charge up Eastern right now. I give them a lot of credit. They have been vocal here tonight.
Now slowly making his way into the circle is Luke Moore. Puck down, one by Lusk. Over to Hood. Hood thinks about it for a second, plays it down the wall on the far side. Flood going to use his speed to go around the backside of the goal. Now leaves it off for Lusk in front of the Eagles' shoot door. Across, back of the net from Isaac Hood. Not quite a one-timer, but he took that, corralled it, and tickled the twine for the second time tonight. Eastern Washington up by 2. Thanks to Isaac Hood adding one to Jake Best's tally.
Outstanding give and go on that one, and Hood just snuck in behind the Wyoming Cowboy. I didn't think they saw him go in, and again he went up high. Again, on Mazzarelli, so he's decided he's just going to keep shooting the puck up high. But if I'm not mistaken, Lusk got that assist. Was that not him that made that unbelievable pass?
I believe it was Lusk from Flood to Hood for that goal. His team leading goal here for Joel Lusk.
Because Lusk did a nice job of just holding on to the puck, waiting for Hood to get in the open. So nice heads-up play by him, and it all started off with Flood.
That is goal number 12 for Isaac Hood on the season. Now the Cowboys going to look to answer a good pass there, but just out of the reach of Hart. We're seeing some of the post-play extracurriculars kind of die down a little bit as the players start to focus on actually winning the game.
Yeah, it has. It has tempered down somewhat. Now there's a discussion on why they're calling that an icing.
Even Muzzarelli was confused.
Yeah, he did, because there was no question about it, and I think it was Stevenson, if I'm not mistaken. He was skating down. No, that was Thompson that went down there, and he was going to get the puck. There was no question about that. He beat the Wyoming Cowboy for it. So, as you can tell, the crowd doesn't like it either.
Well, and even after the discussion between the officials, still goes down to the Eastern Washington end of the ice. So, discussion is less than fruitful for Eastern Washington, as we'll have a face-off glove side of Sam Brash as soon as everybody gets set.
It was good to see the communication lines open up. See, that's all they were doing. They were just discussing things.
Wells tries to turn the corner with that. Instead, he leaves it back into the corner. Touched up in the neutral zone by Mears. It seems like Wyoming kind of leaving a trailing defenseman here in the later goings of this period.
Well, I think what you're seeing Eastern do, they're trying to do a stretch pass attack on him, and I think that's why they're dropping back a defenseman to prevent that.
A big hit in the middle of the zone, 21 on 21, as now Reed going to get in the face of Sam Thompson, who, to me, that looked like a fairly innocuous hit between the two.
It was, and I'm not really sure why Reed took exception to it. He plays usually under control. That one, for some reason, got to him. But that's going to, if Eastern can pop this in, that's going to really, that penalty could hurt, because that was one of those penalties the coaching staff is not going to be happy with.
And the captain out there talking to the official, Madden Hart. Just trying to get an explanation here as to what happened there. Seems to be a little frustrated with a missing call somewhere.
There's a big shot for Eastern. If they can get that third goal in, that's really going to carry them into that third period.
Well, they've got a shorthanded goal and a power play goal already tonight. And we talk about it a lot, but at this level, special teams is really where the good teams become the best teams. Just want to cross almost an own goal there. As a deflection right into Muzzarelli.
I think the referee thought the goalpost came off the mooring because I'm really not sure why they blew the whistle on that because the puck wasn't smothered. So I think the linesman or the refs thought the goalpost came off.
Now Young going to take it from the top of the zone into the glove of Muzzarelli. 1:38 left on the power play for Eastern Washington. It's their fourth power play of the period. They were able to convert on their last one just 16 seconds in, already 22 seconds into this one. Puck squirts out down into the corner. The first player there to pick it up is Berg. And Brash out of his net, going to slow up that puck for his team. Leave it right behind the cage. 1:20 left on the power play. This one pushed up ahead. Hofacker waiting at the blue line. Tierney going to whack that all the way around. And Jake Best going to squirt by without taking the hit, but left the puck behind, allowing the Cowboys to clear it.
That was a nice play by Hart. He's the one that actually kind of made Best go in a different angle so he couldn't pinch it.
Choppy ice, late goings here in this period, slowing the puck down a little bit. As Eastern looking to build out of their own end. More than halfway through this power play. Best with some speed on the left side. He takes a shot. Jake goes over the top of the cage. Hofacker on the far side. He's going to rim it back around to the near side where Wells is going to pick it up. He tries to feed it right to the slot. Nobody there as Best was crashing towards the post. And Hood takes a shot from distance, really just trying to get it out front. Bouncing puck just over the stick of Thompson. A good feed from Lusk. That's where he goes with it. Lusk looking to go back across the body. And a good read by Muzzarelli. Thompson trying to get it to Lusk. Couldn't get it to him. A good chop by Luke Moore, and he's going to carry it into the neutral zone. Zone covered by Brash. 3 seconds left on the power play to Luke Moore. And Hood going to take a little bit of an exception to Colton Morris spraying the backside of his netminder. This is one of those ones that I'd probably let go since it was more on his pads. But the way this game's been going so far tonight, it's not surprising that any of the players are getting chippy about these things.
Yeah, but in this case, if I was the referees, it's a wash. There's no reason to put anybody in the box. They could talk to him right down there and say, hey, let up a little bit. So I'm glad to see they're not calling penalty, even though they're talking about it right now. But that one should just let it go. That was a good job by the refs. Just say, nah, really no harm, no foul on that one. Just some conversation about it. And I think you're right. There was an exception on the snow getting dumped on their netminder.
Oh, so no. After this, they're going to send Hood to the box.
That surprises
Another delayed, very delayed call by this officiating crew.
You're being kind on. That was a major delay, and I don't know why they changed their mind because there was nothing going on that
other than just a conversation.
Yeah, there was no real pushing or nothing. They got in front of each other, yapping at each other,
and I didn't see a signal from the officials.
No, that's what I'm saying. They were going to let it go, and then all of a sudden, with that major delay, they decided to call a penalty. So,
well, it looks like they may have given Hood a 10-minute misconduct minor after that because his penalty's not on the board, and the officials are signaling 5-on-4 still. And with Moore in the box, that'd be 5-on-4 in favor of Eastern Washington. Interesting that they put him in the box and didn't send him to the locker room with 1:36 left. on a misconduct minor or misconduct penalty. Shot taken off of the glass, bounced back out front. Hart jumping out of the, snatching it out of the air. Bouncing puck towards the end wall. Ryan Carew has to make a couple of Cowboys miss. Still not able to get it out in front of the red line, and finally does, but right into the center of the zone. Every youth coach in the country wincing at that one. Flood leaves the puck in the neutral zone, has to go back and reset himself. He dumps it in. Less than a minute to play in this period. Now Boma, a 2-on-1, and coming across the line just a step too early was Nolan Berg.
And Bowman's not agreeing with it, and the fans are letting him know, like, no, that was a good call.
And they're sitting right at the blue line, and you know that they're always unbiased.
Yeah. You're so generous, Tyler. It's unbelievable. Good job.
So we'll have a face-off right in front of those fans for rewarding them for being such kind individuals.
The positivity coming out of you right now is just amazing.
So 40 seconds left in this period. It's going to go out into the neutral zone. And now Belair through the neutral zone. He's just going to dump it down into the corner with 30 seconds left. He thought Stevenson was going to keep heading that direction.
Yeah, but he went
and
in
now
and
a hit by Waylon Belair.
That's right.
Look at that. Throwing the body.
The kid's getting more comfortable in this league.
17 seconds left in this period. Back out into the neutral zone. Wyoming looking for one more shot here before these teams head into the locker rooms. Moore tries to carry it across the line. But that'll do it for this second period where Eastern was able to add to their lead thanks to their leading goal scorer, Isaac Hood. And some more extracurriculars after the play.
It'll be interesting if they get a penalty on McBride for that one because Hofacker was just skating by him and he took a shot at him. So
it's Sam Brash getting the crowd excited.
I'll be surprised if McBride doesn't go in the box for that one. But we will see.
So it officially was an unsportsmanlike conduct minor for Isaac Hood. So he must have said something during that exchange that the officials didn't like. Typically, unsportsmanlike conduct penalties don't come with a conversation. If you heard it, you heard it. And if not, you didn't. So we'll be back with the conclusion of this one and the third day of the Eagles Nest Showcase. You're watching Eastern Washington University men's hockey. Friends and family, welcome back to the Eastern Washington University Recreation Center, where we've got the final period of day 3 between the Eagles and the Cowboys here at the Eagles Nest Showcase. Eastern leading 2-0 over Wyoming, and Wyoming, their second major penalty of the contest, as sitting in the box is Benjamin McBride for an incident that happened right at the end of the period. Lusk pushing that towards the goal mouth. Also in the box for Eastern Washington is Isaac Hood, the team's leading scorer, who received a 10-minute misconduct penalty with about 4 minutes left in that period. I'm sorry, with about 2 minutes left in that period. So Eastern going to try and add to their lead here, but they'll have to do it without their top scorer. Lusk with it now. Tries to feed it out front to Young. Now Flood on the right side. He's going to go all the way across. Can't get it. Bounces right back to him. Looks to go top shelf. Goes almost to the roof as that one's deflected away from Muzzarelli.
This is crucial for Wyoming right now. I don't think they can afford to go down 3-zip, especially the way Brash is playing. And so if Eastern can do that, that'll put a ton of pressure on Wyoming. But Wyoming's a solid penalty kill team, but I got 4:17 left. Let's see if Eastern can pop one in.
Well, Wyoming was able to kill off their first major penalty, as that one was a cross-checking major in the second period. Eastern was able to find the back of the net during that power play, but it was waved off almost immediately by the officials.
This game would be hard to officiate just because of all the extracurricular activity that's going on and a lot of chirping back and forth. I don't envy the officials at all in this game.
And they are doing a good job of keeping everybody with level heads or separating them as quickly as they can. Right out front, a good kick save by Muzzarelli.
Outstanding save by Muzzarelli on that one. That was going in between the 5-hole.
This puck sent down the ice. It's going to go head towards Sam Brash. He's going to step to the side of the crease and let that one go. Eastern waiting behind their net, looking to build it out. Across the blue line it goes. Wells, he's going to look to take it straight towards the goal mouth, looking for that wraparound. Sees a man entering the zone. Almost got his pocket picked from behind, thanks to the strong stick of Colton Morris. The Eagles still in possession. Flood has it. He sends it up to Lusk on the far side. Lusk up top to Young. Young thinks about the shot, decides better of it, goes to Wells, and that one's deflected up behind the netting. They're going to say it was touched up with a high stick, but now corralled again. Major penalty halfway over now.
You got to give credit to Wyoming, how they're freezing that puck in the corner, and EWU can't get it freed at all. Nice job by the Cowboys.
The Eagles do get it over to the far side to Lusk. Now down in the crease is Flood, I believe.
There's the penalty coming up to Wyoming.
And it looks like Eastern Washington, Flood returned the favor, and he's going to head to the box too. So these coincidental minor penalties coming 2:45 of this third period. It'll be Flood and Mears.
Well, now they're going to have a conversation on going down to the Bear House, what they want, Tyler. See, that's all that's happening right there.
It's hard to have those conversations out on the ice, and the benches are so far apart.
That's right.
You can just have them in the back of the penalty box if you want.
Well, this crowd is into this, isn't it, man? They're just waiting for something to scream about.
And they're going to keep this at a 5-on-4 with those coincidental minors not going up on the board. So both penalty boxes having a couple of players in them. Shot taken wide of the net. Trying to sneak it in the near side was Carew. Actually, Young, rather. He's on the far side. He's going to tip it back out to Wells. Wells atop the zone. He's going to push it over to the far side. This time to Casey Young on the near side, but the captain of the Cowboys' heart picks that up, and it's going to come all the way over to the far side. Puck out of play.
Look at that arm Allie
I was
has
just
back
thinking
there.
that. What a throw by Allie Kendall, the score clock operator, getting the puck almost all the way out to the logo.
Very impressive.
Now face-off coming to the glove side of Muzzarelli. Eastern wins it. Back out to Tierney. He's going to take a shot off of Mears, who was waiting in front of the net. Actually, that's Campbell. Now Tierney chops at it. Can't get enough of it, but now it's going to be sent all the way down the ice. 1:30 left on the major penalty. Wyoming doing a great job of killing off penalties today. Ofacker now along the left side, or right side. He's going to bring it through the neutral zone, spins across the blue line, has a couple of players in the center, but can't get enough on it to get it out there. Separated his man down into the corner, and Eastern's still in possession. Cole Best with the puck at the top of the zone. Skates atop the blue line, now near side to Jake Best. Jake tries to send it far side, bounces off of a couple of players, and now it'll be Tierney in the neutral zone as Eastern Washington resets under a minute left on the major penalty. Cole Best going to send that towards the net and into the waiting glove of Muzzarelli for his 35th save of the contest. 45 seconds left on the power play.
However way this game goes, it has been one extremely entertaining hockey contest between these two. Both teams are not giving an inch, and they're playing it that way, but it's been very, very exciting to watch this game.
Puck back up to the top of the zone. Backhanded pass by Wells. Top the Pack 8 logo is Lusk. Errant shot down into the corner. Eastern still in possession. Lusk waiting behind Thompson. It's going to go to the far side to Wells. Wells makes one man miss. He's going to draw a penalty here. With 14 seconds left on the major, and a chance there for Lusk on the back door, but can't connect. It'll be a high stick. 4 minutes and 52 seconds into this third period, as taking a seat will be Luby. So 8 seconds of 5-on-3 time for the Eagles, and then they'll have a minute 52 extra power play time.
That was a nice play by Wells. He did a nice little toe drag and tried to get around Luby, and he just had no choice but to haul him down. Good heads-up play by him.
Puck over to the far side. Wells thinks about it, takes a shot, clangs it off of the glass. Young able to keep it in. Major penalty expires. Back to the bench heads Bila. And now Flood with a chance, looking to go top shelf. And again, you see Muzzarelli popping up on those. Near side to Young, back door to Thompson. And Muzzarelli puts that in himself on accident as he's spinning around. Scoops that one into his own goal. And a nightmare scenario for the Cowboys.
I'm wondering if Muzzarelli did or if Flood didn't sneak in and actually tip that in toward the end. I know the puck was free down there, and Flood was right on top of the net. We'll get a replay on that one, but I think Frank Flood tipped that puck in.
Let's take a look back at our replay machine.
That was a huge goal for Eastern right there. The momentum is definitely on their side. Here comes Cole Best. He's in by himself right now, one-on-one with the Cowboy. He dekes around and takes a quick shot. Muzzarelli was there. He went low on him this time. And a nice job by Muzzarelli to stop that one. Well, there's Valera.
You are 100% right. That was Frank Flood cleaning that up at the top of the goal, or at the top of the crease. And that's where he does his best work.
It doesn't look like Flood went into there and it was looking for that spot specifically.
So just like that, the Eagles up by 3. Belair now. He's got one man to beat. He's got Jake Best in the middle. Thinks about the shot. Sauced over to Jake Best and just off of the side of the cage.
That was a tremendous play by Waylon Belair right there. He
drug it back to himself, a toe drag, and he waited and waited till the defense would make a commitment. Did a nice little soft pass over to Best. Nice play by Waylon.
An incredible saucer pass right to the tape of Jake Best.
And you can see that was what Blair had in mind. He just held it up, and nice play by him. Again, that kid's getting more comfortable each game he plays in this league.
And now Stevenson going to give chase back behind the net. That goal officially coming 5:18 of this third period. Frank Flood's 8th goal of the season, his 14th point overall. Hofacker takes a shot, just a bit too tall for Muzzarelli. Slapped straight down by Moore. He's going to be the first one to get to it, so that'll be a high stick. And the action will come back out into the neutral zone.
Well, now I'm hoping that what Eastern does, they don't let off the gas. They didn't last night. They weren't trying to run up the score, but they kept attacking, and that's what I'm hoping they do right now, because that's going to bode well with them as they further on in their league. So they're getting a lot of momentum. 3-0 lead. The way Brash is playing, they should feel a little comfortable. They cannot let up against the Cowboys.
Still lots of hockey to come here in Cheney tonight. And then tomorrow, the Eastern Washington Eagles, they will be taking on the Idaho Vandals right here at noon on Sunday, a Sunday matinee to close out the Eagles Nest Showcase.
That's going to be an interesting hockey game also, because Idaho's playing extremely well.
Idaho unbeaten in this showcase weekend so far. Eastern Washington, a win last night, up 3-0 so far tonight. Be almost a de facto championship game tomorrow.
That would be, wouldn't it? See, that's why you're the best play-by-play in college. You came up with that. I wouldn't even thought about that. And see, it comes right up to you naturally.
Well, and then we'll just head over with the winning team to the Barrel House, buy them a championship pizza.
That's right.
That's what we'll be after the game tonight. If you're looking to hang out with the team, get some autographs, or just say hi, head on down to the Barrel House right there in downtown Cheney.
And you ask Tyler, he'll even sign an autograph if you want from him.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you do with it.
Put it on the wall. Come on now.
Some speed here by the Eagles, and a good body move there by Colton Morris on Cole Best. Muzzarelli almost mishandling that, has to kind of swat at it to get it back to Belair. This one out front again, and Muzzarelli going to hold on to it, but I believe it was Waylon Belair that drew this penalty again. So that's the second penalty he's drawn this weekend, tonight, the third this weekend.
You can see with that kid right there, not only is he getting comfortable, but he's starting to believe in his offensive skill, and now he's trying to set up his line mates, and he's purposely looking for a pass or getting everybody in position. He's done an outstanding job, and he's going to be a very good find for Eastern in the years to come.
So 2-minute minor on the board, 11:51 left to play. Eastern up 3-0, looking to add to their lead on the power play. So back to Tierney. He's going to feed it down along the low wall. Cole Best tries to get that on net. He does enough to make Muzzarelli stick that away. Now Cole circles the zone, makes a quick cut towards the center and gets that shot off. Jake not able to hold it in on the far side, skittering all the way back towards Brash. First player there is going to be Luke Moore. And now Hofacker showing his speed. He's sent awkwardly into the boards, rubbed off with a puck that time by Reed. And out of the box comes Isaac Hood, who's had about a half an hour between now and the last time that he stepped onto the ice. So he'll be the most well-rested player out there for the Eagles.
He definitely has fresh legs. There's no question about that.
And if you're a Wyoming Cowboy, that is not what you want this late in the game on the power play. That's Hood out there getting the crowd into this one. Puck right back to Hood.
He's a one-man wrecking crew, Tyler, plain and simple.
Hood going to go to the far side. You can hear the crowd really into this one. Just an errant pass. Going to send Wells back into his own zone. About 1:05 left on the power play. Hood acting as a defenseman on this power play line. He's going to bring it up on the left side. Has a man in the middle in Flood. He's going to take it all the way around the net. And still on the stick of Hood. It's going to go off the wall to Lusk on the far side. And Lusk not able to handle that, as it's going to go all the way back down to Brash.
Even if Eastern doesn't score on this one, they just will kill 2 minutes of valuable time for Wyoming. So it's a win-win however you look at it, especially if they get a point out of this.
And a turnover in the neutral zone by Wells. Shot taken off of the glass that time by Luke Moore. And another penalty coming against the Cowboys as Reed came together. I think that's with Lusk down low. Reed going to get 2 for a high stick. And actually that was Hood that was getting beat up again down low. Wyoming knows what they're doing out here and who to target with some of these. They're putting all of that pressure on Isaac Hood.
And I think what they're trying to do is
also getting sent to the box for some reason.
And it's hard to say why he got on that one. He was just in. The crowd doesn't do it. But what Wyoming's trying to do with Hood is they're trying to make him do something. They're trying to get him to react so he'll get bounced from the game, and he's not falling for it right now, even though he's sitting quite a bit on some of these penalties, but he's still in the game, and so you got to tip your cap on the Cowboys on that. They're trying, but he's not baiting on it.
Well, you can donate to Isaac Hood's Sin Bin Snack Fund by purchasing something from the fall fundraiser. Scan that QR code on your screen right now or head over to eweagleshockey.com. Check out the store. T-shirts, 100% polyester workout shirts, hoodies, all for under $35. And, maybe we can get a water, some peanuts over there for Isaac Hood.
Or at very least, the rink manager, Travis Allen, should be calling Barrel House to get a pizza sent up here for him. So something like that, because he has some time the way he's been getting in the box today.
So 4-on-3, lots of open ice out there.
Only you would come up with something that creative, Tyler. I'm not kidding. That's a nice job. That's impressive.
And Mears just absolutely run over. Puck right out front. Now a chance for Wells. He's going to go over to the far side. Odd angle shot. And it falls right into the glove of Muzzarelli. But the Eagles setting up well, cycling well. Just not able to get it past the puzzle that Muzzarelli is.
Oh, Muzzarelli's playing an outstanding game. But if you look at it right now, Eastern, the way they're playing and what's happening right now, they're really not getting behind because they're in the box, so is Wyoming. So they're just eating up valuable time. And Brash has just been just rock solid, but he was in the last outing too. So Wyoming has their work cut out for them right now, especially the way the Eagles, they have not let up. They're still attacking in the offensive zone, which is great to see for them.
So into the top of the circle, and Best gets more ice than puck on that one. Wells able to keep it in. He's going to dump it down into the corner and have Jake chase it. Scrum in the corner, couple of players down on the ice, but the puck's still on the Eagles' stick. 4-on-4 hockey, 1:03 left on that clock, just under 10 left in the game. Bouncing puck. Foot race here between Wells and Berg. And Berg going to get there first, but Wells is just going to keep him there. Puck's still moving. Not frozen up against the wall yet, and now dug out of there by Casey Young.
That was outstanding by Wells. It's just eating up the clock, and that's what they're looking at right now. Let's get some more seconds off of it, and then let's go in with the victory.
Less than 30 left on the matching minor penalties to Reed and Hood. Another battle down low. And the Eagles come away with that one. Best trying to chop that down. But a Cowboy right behind him. Young battling pretty heavily there with Luke Moore. And both players exit the box. Back to five-a-side hockey for the remaining 8 minutes of this game. Young going to rim that around. He's got a player on the near side in Belair. Belair just going to dump it in. He is going to have Stevenson chase, but Hofacker on the far side going to pick it up for the Eagles. Belair looking to center himself in the zone, but that one chopped back over towards the near side. There he is throwing his body around. Still battling for the puck in front of the Wyoming shoot door. Now up top to Carew. He's going to fire that far into the corner. Hofacker trying to get a hold of the puck. Wyoming struggling to get a hold of the puck as well. Can't get enough on anything to really clear their zone. And now Belair taken down again.
He's battling two Cowboys right now.
And his third penalty drawn of the day.
Now, is that Hofacker that got in?
That is Hofacker. But, for the sake of the Eagles, hopefully that doesn't land Hofacker in the box as well, because Belair drew his third penalty of the game.
Well, Belair, man, he was doing great. He was battling two Cowboys down there, and he wasn't giving an inch on that one. He said, no, it's not going to happen. Outstanding job by Waylon Belair.
And it looks like they're going to let Hofacker go back to the bench. So I believe it's going to be Bila that they're going to give that to, who looks a little sore.
He's leaving
and they're
right
going to
now.
send him straight to the locker room.
Crowd's letting him know. He waves to him while he goes off. Nice touch.
Another 5-minute major penalty. I'm not sure what the official saw from the backside. That looked, maybe a hold or a rough or
it looked
a
like
minor
it was
penalty from here.
A stick from behind on the body of Belair on that one. It was down. I think that's why Hofacker responded the way he did. Hofacker's gritty, and so if he thinks one of his teammates can take an advantage of it, he's definitely going to come into and help him out at all costs. But can you say enough about Sam Brash tonight and how he's playing, even though not a ton of shots on him, 15, but they've been accurate, hard shots. There haven't been any fluky ones. He's played outstanding tonight for the Eagles.
I can't tell if Hood's flapping his wings or
getting the
calling
crowd
it
up.
unsportsmanlike.
No, he's getting the crowd worked up by flapping his wings.
So they're going to get Chad Bila for a face mask. That is a 15-minute misconduct or game misconduct.
What, he was pulling on it? Is
yeah,
that what they're
grabbing the opponent's face mask. Okay. A 5-minute major and a 10-minute misconduct. So that'll do it for the rest of his night. And Eastern, for the better part of this game, going to be on the power play. Wells able to keep it in. He's going to go to the far side. Shot taken. Now rims around to the near side with Hood. Hood, 5 goals on the weekend, looking for another one. He's going to feed it off to Lusk on the far side. Lusk, a couple of steps towards the goal mouth, bouncing around outside of the crease, and a flipping, diving puck. Going to go all the way down.
And again, there was flying Flood down there looking for a tip-in on there. He's positioned himself really well right outside the crease.
And a big shout out to the Eagles Hockey Booster Club. As we were talking about it, the Booster Club president took some Cracker Jacks over to Mr. Hood in a box.
That's nice. All led by you.
Telling you, the Sin Bin Snack Fund. You can donate to that and get a shirt. $20. Get you a t-shirt or a workout shirt. You can head over to eweagleshockey.com, or if you want to donate directly to the Booster Club, you can do that, eagleshockeyboosters.com. Here comes Hofacker along the low wall. He trips over the blue line, and that's going to send the puck back out the other direction.
That's because he was winding up. He was getting ready to take a shot, and it just fell over.
And now here comes Young on the right side. He's going to push that one out into the center. Clangs off of the blue line in front of the Wyoming bench. First player there is going to be Moore again. He's going to take kind of an odd angle shot, and it didn't look like Sam thought that he had gotten that one.
No, but that was a great job by Jake Best on that one, even though he was a few strides behind, but the angle he took would not allow Moore to get a better shot or better angle on that. So you got to give credit to Jake Best on that one. He just kept going in and basically wrote him off.
3:14 left on the major penalty for Wyoming, and now a couple of players getting together on top of the faceoff dot. It looks like Hofacker going to get sent to the box for a cross check. And this one coming 14:35 of the third period. Hofacker for a cross check, and that's going to negate the next 2 minutes of this major penalty. But coming out of this 4-on-4 action, Eastern's still going to have 1:10 left of power play time.
Yeah, but I'm wondering, and now if people haven't heard on the air that there was a snack bar down there, and so the Hofacker doesn't take that many penalties, and so he said, hold it.
Well, hopefully Hood was kind enough to leave him at best kind of taken down from behind there, an awkward-looking situation. But hopefully Hood left him some of those snacks, didn't take him back to the bench. Best turns around, surveys the ice, gets that one out into the neutral zone. And Darnell back out on the ice. Haven't seen him since the first period. Puck sent ahead to Morris. Stolen in the center of the neutral zone as the Best brothers run into each other. A little chest bump there. Premature celebration. Still 5 minutes left to go in the game. Off of the wall to Reed. He's going to play it off the wall again ahead, but can't get any further than Wells. Cole Best pushed off of the puck, low wall by Trey Campbell. And this one going to roll all the way into the Wyoming zone. Not a hard shot off of the wall there, but just enough to get it to roll down. And now coming the length of the ice is Colton Morris. He brings it into the zone, outside of his stick, trying to get it back to a forehand shot and poke it in. Can't get enough of it. Goes to the far side. And now a chance for Eastern Washington here. Way out of his net is Mozzarelli. And Thompson just didn't have enough to get there first. Good heads-up play by the netminder for Wyoming. Now Thompson again. Back to Lusk. Lusk makes one-man miss. Toe drag, and it looks like it bounced off of his own player there in front of the net. Tierney waiting for the puck, but Lusk going to take it again. Tierney keeps it in. He's going to fire it from distance, trying to catch Mozzarelli off guard. Cut to the center by Heck. He's going to bring it across the blue line. Thompson a little shove in the back, and now Thompson going to have it. He's got Flood waiting on the blue line, but instead he's going to give it to Lusk, who's crashing through the neutral zone. Lusk, toe drag shot. Back to Frank Flood. Top shelf goal.
Outstanding job.
Flood.
Outstanding job by Mr. Flood on that one. He didn't give up on the play, so he just trailed it. Lusk went in, got the nice shot off. Rebound came to Frank, and he just buried it in the top shelf. But you got to give Flood credit on that. If he would have stopped at all, that would not have happened. Again, it went high. They've decided that's how they're going to shoot against Mozzarelli. They're just going to go high, but nice job by Frank Flood.
So Frank Flood getting one last night, getting one tonight.
That's the second one tonight.
That is his second one tonight. That puts him at 9 goals for the season, 15 points. So 45 seconds left on the power play. A big hit down in the corner, right in front of the official. He saw nothing wrong, and here comes Wyoming the other way. Moore with it across the blue line, tries to go around the outside, and just too many white jerseys in front of him. Ran out of real estate. Now the Eagles looking for that stretch pass again. They're seeing something, and that's going to lead to another penalty for Wyoming. 13 seconds left on the major. This one coming 17:32. As it's going to be Mears. 2 minutes for what looked like a hold.
Well, if you're Eastern, you've got to be happy with your performance again from last night. Outstanding. They picked it up from they did last night. Eastern's coaching staff's got to be extremely pleased.
A different energy in this club. Over the last 3 weeks, Wyoming going to take a timeout here with 2.5 left. A double minor penalty to Mears. So they are going to be shorthanded essentially for the rest of this game. 5-on-3 for the next 13 seconds after this timeout. And then 3 minutes and 47 seconds of continued power play time.
I think the biggest thing you're seeing out of East right now, are starting to gel, and their plays showing it, and just how they're setting each other up. You're seeing them now, rather than earlier this year, just shoot the puck in. Now they're actually setting up, trying to get some offensive movement, and that's just all because they're getting used to each other. They're playing it as a unit right now, and I'm telling you, Eastern's going to be tough the rest of the year going out, and especially in that tournament.
.228 left on the scoreboard. 4 goals for Eastern, 0 for Wyoming, but 2 players in the box for the Cowboys. 13 seconds left on the major penalty, and then 4 minutes on the double minor to Mears. And Wells almost caught off guard there. He wasn't ready for that one, able to get his stick down in time. Atop the G, atop the L, he's going to go back to the other side. Wells at the top of the zone, goes to the far side. Shot taken, sticked into the corner. Out of the box comes Bila. So now 5-on-4, sticked up over the top of the goal. High stick as Eastern touches that, so it'll be back out into the neutral zone. Under 2 minutes left to play here on the third night of the Eagles Nest Showcase. It's been an incredible weekend so far. One more game tomorrow. The Eagles taking on the Vandals in a Sunday matinee right here at the Eastern Washington URC. Tickets just $10 at the door. If you're a student of Eastern Washington, just bring your ID. It's that simple. Show it, they'll let you in for free. Shot taken, windmill save by Muzzarelli there.
And like you mentioned earlier, Tyler, it's a default championship game. And that's how it just
is.
worked out. Both clubs are going to go unbeaten going in that Sunday game. So that'll add a little bit more motivation for both clubs.
And if you need any more reason to come down here, those two teams split the series here in September. So that game is sure to be a barn burner between these two teams. And if you're Eastern Washington at this point, you just want to make sure that you make it out of this game healthy and without taking any penalties that are going to carry over to tomorrow.
And actually, so far, Eastern's done a good job of controlling themselves. They haven't reacted to some of the things that have been happening. And so is Wyoming. So both clubs are doing a nice job of that.
Hood, a menace on the forecheck. Trying to clear that out are the Cowboys. Eastern back with it, now onto the far side. Low in the VIP corner in the shadow of the roost. Young looking for it across. He was calling for it. Laughlin out front. He's looking for it. Hood trying to get it across the zone. The Eagles really looking for that backdoor play. Laughlin knocked down. He's going to draw a penalty. So with 51 seconds left, the Eagles going to get one more shot at the 5-on-3 and see if they can put themselves up by 5.
That was a nice job by Duncan Laughlin on there, and he was actually chirping back after the whistle blew on that. He wasn't giving any ground up, so that's good to see out of him. He's getting more comfortable, too, as the year goes on.
51 seconds left, 49 shots for the Eagles, 16 for the Cowboys. Carew over to his captain on the far side. Back near side to Lusk. Toe drag. Backhand pass down low to Hood. And shutting the door is Muzzarelli. That one just a couple of inches too close to the goalie. and Hood wasn't able to lift that, but a good heads-up play by Lusk as he saw Isaac crashing towards that post.
But I tell you got to give credit to Laughlin on that one. He went in the dirty area, and he was giving the D-man for Wyoming fits. He wasn't giving ground up. That's good to see out of Duncan Laughlin right there. He was battling hard.
Near side to Carew. He's going to send that back down. Rim it around. Now back up top. Wells. Near side now. Back up top to Wells. He's going to wind up. Decides better of it. Hofacker from the far side. And Muzzarelli again snatching that one out of the air. 15 seconds left in this game. Remember, coming up tomorrow noon here at the URC, the Eagles taking on the Idaho Vandals. If you can't make it out here, don't worry. Gary and I will have the game right here, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, wherever you're watching it. A good weekend for the Eagles so far. A big win last night and another big win tonight over a strong opponent. Thank you to the University of Wyoming Cowboys for coming out here, playing 4 games, 2 games on Thursday, 1 yesterday, 1 today. We can't thank them enough.
And they played extremely well up here. I mean, they got short-ended on a couple of them. They were a talented hockey team. You can see them going to improve moving forward. But I can't compliment the Eagles enough right now. Just even from a month ago until now, totally different squad. It's good to see that. But I'm with you. It was nice to see Wyoming come up here because they battled every game that they were in. They battled hard. Even though it was 4-0, it was a tight game tonight. There was no question about that. Nice job all the way around.
And we haven't even mentioned it. Wyoming played 2 overtime games this weekend. On top of 2 games on Thursday, this squad has got to just be absolutely exhausted.
No question.
So our hats off to the Wyoming Cowboys. Thank you for coming out. Thank you to all of the other teams that have come out. Utah Valley University Wolverines, the Western Washington University Vikings, Washington State Cougars, and of course, we'll see the University of Idaho Vandals tomorrow. For our camera gal Harper, for our graphics gal Kayla, for Gary Allen and everybody here at Eastern Washington University Men's Hockey, I'm Tyler Pisani saying good night, go Eags, and we'll see you at the Barrel House.